Okay, YouTube, we are now ready to basically start degassing and clearing out this wine here. I went ahead and racked it obviously from the bucket into the secondary here. Figured I'd save you that. It's not very exciting. All this is already sanitized here. I've got my sanitized tray to set everything down in. We've got some water here that we're going to mix the sorbate and sulfite packets into. You know, and I actually don't have, well, we'll just go ahead and do this here. It wound up not being quite ready to go at the 1 week point, so we went ahead and gave it until the 2 week point, and now it's sitting exactly where it should. Its gravity is 0.994, so it's pretty much done. So here, ooh, got your sulfite. Man, you get that in your nose and you know about it. So sulfite's pretty much going to kill the yeast that are still active in there, alive in there, and then the sorbate is a preservative. This is actually sanitized. I'm going to use it to stir this with. The sorbate's going to act as a preservative, so I guess I could attach this to a drill, but I think in a pint glass it'd be a bit much, right? So this is step 1 of the process. We'll go ahead, we'll get this mixed in here into the batch, and then what we're going to do is we're going to continue to degas for several minutes, and then we are going to add the fining agent, which in this instance is a pack of chitosan, and that's going to basically attach to everything that's still in suspension and hopefully knock it out. Okay, get this mixture put in. The yeast are not going to like that. And now I'm actually going to take the mixture here and get it put on the end of my drill. Again, everything is already sanitized. I use sulfite as the sanitizer. Alrighty, away we go. There goes some CO2. And basically we're just going to keep doing this gently. You can see that lots of CO2 in suspension. So what you do is you basically just pulse it and you let it keep expressing itself until there's pretty much no CO2 coming out of suspension. So I'm not going to bore you with this one. This takes a while, so we'll see you in a bit. So YouTube, I completely forgot this batch I was going to try something new. I had seen people taking these vacuum bleeders and hooking them up to one of the Buonvino bungs and basically using it as a vacuum degasser. I've got it sitting just above 10 inches mercury or so. And this is actually interesting in that, like, the more that I pump it, the more it does actually express CO2. So I had only been whipping the wine with the stainless steel mixer for, I don't know, probably about 2 minutes or so. Definitely enough to get the all the chemicals mixed in. But now we're up to 15, and I'm not sure if you can see it there, but it is, we'll zoom this down here. Get you zoomed in. Okay, not sure if you can see it or not, but we're just above 15 on the brake bleeder here, and it's pulling CO2. Not sure if you can see it there. There's a bit of a glare. But it is pulling CO2, so we're just going to keep this going and see how far down I can get it. Hopefully we won't break anything. But this is actually kind of cool, so we'll see you in just a few. Okay, this is fun. I literally had just shut the camera off and all these bubbles just went whoop right up there. We're still sitting only at about like 18 or so on the pressure gauge here. So you can see this is actually working surprisingly well. Just pumping, see it? It's actually rising as I just single pump now. I don't want to go up too high because I don't have the, what is it, that bleeder vacuum compartment where spillover occurs. Now that I know that this actually works, I'll, for next time, I'll certainly get that set up so then you can just keep pumping, and any foam that happens to get up in the line will get caught in that cup. But for now, how freaking cool is that? So we're just going to let this sit. Keep working on it. Whoop, there we go. This is too cool. There we are on the vacuum. Okay, so we're sitting just shy of 20 here, and you can see it's going to town now. Now when I pump, it's actually really hard to keep up with it here. But yeah, just as I continue to pump, it's just continuing to express CO2. It's now pulling big bubbles from the bottom. This is too cool. I have a feeling this may be the best degassed wine I've ever had. But you can see it in the middle there? How it's literally, it's bubbling. Like if you pour a soda, it's literally effervescing. Which is what you want to have happen. And you heard me doing all that pumping, we're still just below 20. So I think we'll just try to keep up with it here, and then eventually it's going to stop effervescing, and then by that point we will pretty much be done. That's where we're at. Okay, so we have had this sitting right at about 20 inches of mercury in the vacuum, and as you can see, it's pretty much stopped. There's really not much going on around there. That, according to everything I've read, is the sign that it's pretty much done. It did go through, the very start you saw there were tiny little bubbles. Towards the end it was these bigger bubbles here, and now there's, I mean, just absolutely tiny little bubbles every great once in a while. And like I said, it's been sitting here holding right at about 20 inches of mercury for about 5 minutes. So it's safe to say it's done. One thing I did want to say, if you guys do try this at home, be warned, it is pretty dangerous. You can bust carboys doing this. It's really not advisable to do it in glass, but I figured, what the hell, we'll give it a shot. I wasn't getting too crazy on the vacuum, but any vacuum on a vessel that's not designed specifically for a vacuum is dangerous. So proceed at your own caution. You are not allowed to sue me if anything happens, or if you lose a batch of a $1 million wine. Sorry, can't help you there. So what we're going to do, our final step is to add our chitosan, and we're actually just going to very, very lightly basically get air back into this. The pressure's going down very, very slightly when I'm pulling on the bung here. Because that's one thing too, you don't want to go too fast when degassing. You see how it's, all those little bubbles are disappearing. And we're just very, very slowly releasing pressure. So once I get this top off, we will get that mixed in. Actually, I was just thinking, if you do have a bleeder pump like this, you can just use that on there. I completely forgot about it, so we'll just slowly look away the bubbles go. We're now down to 10, and like I said, I'm going pretty slow with this. Anytime you're messing with a vacuum, especially in something that's glass and can explode or implode in this matter. There we go. So now that should be nice and easy to get off. Yep, look at that. Pop, away it goes. Okay, time to get our chitosan mixed in. Now when I put the stirring rod back in here, we're actually not going to need to stir it very vigorously because it is already degassed. So what I'm going to do is basically put this in, give it a good stir, not super vigorously, and then we will get our top off put on there. And then we're done. Then it's another couple weeks, just I'll probably give it 2 weeks or so. And we shall basically be at bottling.